Welcome again tonight. We are going to see how we can look at some very important things that you need while writing your scientific paper. Basically, there are two things I want to discuss tonight, and those two things would be first, I want to show you how some journals look and that you can be able to just follow some of those different formats to do your work. I'm going to share my screen with you now. Okay, so where we are here is the website of the International Journal of Engineering, Applied Science, and Technology. We are on this site. So these are papers that people have published. So I should have a paper on this website. So I'm going to download my paper and another paper, and then we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so this is my paper, assessing the disaster preparedness of inhabitants of Masorado County, Liberia. So I'm going to download my paper. Okay, I will save it on the computer. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can also download another paper from another author. Just choose any author. Okay, maybe just take any of them. So let me look at this guy paper in cloud computing. Okay, so let me save it also. So I will start the ball rolling by taking us to these two papers and then quickly seeing how we can be able to use them. My document. Okay, let's see this paper. So this paper is titled Performance Issues with Cloud Computing. It's done by these three authors, Sirav Gupta, Akash Kumar, Kandi Banda Sai Santosh. These are the authors of this paper. You see, normally for the scientific papers, you will start with. Let me go back there. Just a minute. Okay. Let me go back there. Okay. So you see, usually we'll start with the abstract, but you know, the writing process does not start with the abstract. The abstract is actually the last. It's like the paper summary, but it comes first when you are now writing a report. Someone is at the door. Let me see if I can get that person in. All right. They are coming. So we'll go back. So normally you have to do the abstract last, but when you are writing a report, it comes first. So from there, you look at the keywords in your paper. It can be 3, 4, 5 words, keywords in your paper. Then you look at the introduction. So from the introduction, this paper, the next thing is they talk about performance measures. They're talking more about the cloud computing activities. They talk about the characteristics of performance. Everything basically forms part of introducing the paper. So they have diagrams. You have to include your diagrams if you have them. So they're talking about computer business here. So they have to show how the diagram looks like and how it works. So from there, they talk about performance aspects. These are all information gathered from literature review. That continues. Talk about observe and judge the applications themselves. Then the next thing is how to diagnose performance issues. Someone is at the door. Let me get an in. Pretty shortcut. All right. So from there, this paper looks at basically that's how the paper went. It got a conclusion after the findings. These are the different findings that we discussed, and then they have the conclusion, and then they have recommendation, and then they have the references. Okay, so this is how they did this paper. Let's look at the other one. So this paper, let me get another person in. So this paper is written by, the author is Mogana Escomo Jr. from Cyprus International University. So again, you see, it starts with the abstract. From the abstract, I use background of the study, okay, but it's similar to the introduction. And then I stated the problem statement, and then the objectives of the study and the specific objectives. Another person is at the door. So the specific objectives, after that, my research question, they are here. I stated the rationale of the study. Then I look at related literature. So part of the related literatures I look at, I was able to talk about the family education, about disaster preparedness, talk about previous experience and disaster preparedness, talk about the disaster call center, the methods I use for my study. Here's a study area. This is Monserrado. This is the map, Monserrado. And then you see, I also mentioned where I got this map from. I have to give credit to those. And sampling method is discussed here. And then, of course, I have my results and discussions. So what you see, I've taken each of my major research questions. We provided the results, and then I've done the discussion for each of them. So I took them one at a time, and then provided the results and did a discussion. So this was the first one. And then I have a table here also that looks at the social economic characteristics, talking about age of the people that were interviewed, the gender, their position in the household, whether they're household head, member, the employment status, education level. So I provided this background for them. Then I took the next question, discuss it also. As you can see, I provided the results. and then did the discussion. Presented another table. This table looks at the distribution of the respondents by general awareness and disaster preparedness. So the result is provided here in this table. And then took the next one. Then you have some graphs and pie chart and some graphs are presented from the result. Another table. And then at the end of the day, the recommendations I gave, the conclusion, the recommendation, and the references are also here. So basically, these are different ways you see the papers written, right? But at the general level, they all are similar, but the authors are different, and authors will want to present a paper in different forms. But at the end of the day, they all meet certain criteria that the publishing house or the company that is doing the publishing will require. So maybe somebody has question on the layout of the papers. We can respond to those questions before we move to how we will use the reference manager. Those are the two key things I want to discuss tonight. If there's any question about the papers that we just show in terms of their arrangements you want to ask, you can go ahead and do so. And then after that, we will move to how we can use the reference managers to be able to do a piece of job.
Yes, Dan.
Yes.
Is it that every research paper have to carry this bar chart and pie chart demonstration within it?
We don't want to use the word have to, but you have to present your data. So it does not also make sense to present all your results using one type of description, maybe only the table, for example. So we will advise you to ensure that you use at least a table, a graphic pie chart. It's good to use those different ones. You can use one type for all of the results you have to present. Again, it depends on the result that you have. If it is qualitative, generally, you will be focused at mostly explaining and giving description about things, maybe using pictures in our case instead of the graphs and the tables. So it depends on the kind of study you're doing. So if it is a mixed method, we expect to see images, we expect to see tables also, and some graphs as well.
Okay.
Yes, Hillary?
Yes, that I saw something when you was scrolling through the disaster or preparedness work. I saw something like background of on the background of the background
Study.
statement,
Mm.
background of the study, right?
Yeah. This
Is
is
it
what
the
you saw.
same thing? Yeah, background of the study. Is this the same thing as at the body?
It forms part of the introduction of the paper.
Okay.
So uh, like we'll talk about your topic sentence, so you're coming in straight with very important information here that will be able to call the reader, call the reader's attention to the paper they are about to read. So you don't want to waste time. If you see here, it didn't take me time to begin to present figures, right? Here I mentioned, for example, 11,804 deaths occur. According to a particular report, this person says, wow, this is something I need to follow to see. Another time you have 68,000, sorry, has 68,000 people afflicted. The person also wants to check to see. And then you come to the problem, you want to mention some of the key things. I'm talking about Liberia. So I'm saying in Liberia, disasters have become visible and they usually destroy lives and properties. This sentence alone will at least help to draw the attention of someone how they want to know further what are those things I'll be talking about, and then yeah, so they help you to prepare. And when you come now where you have your objectives and the methods and all those things, they form part of the body. And from there, you come down to the conclusion and the recommendation. They form part of the conclusion and recommendation. You got the references.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other question?
Yes, Dad.
Yes, sir.
Anita.
Yes, Anita?
Yeah, I previously heard you talking about publishing. So is this document that we are going to publish after we have completed?
I thought you called me and you told me about certain work you're doing. The work you are doing will be published. And
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Yeah, but Emmanuel Smith.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I want to understand about that the data analysis. If you're doing the data analysis, you can also do the analysis in explanation, or you are just forced to do it in or the 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 way you are explaining it by using the bar chart or the pie chart in find a different percentage or how you know to explain it, because sometimes I read on journals that they explain the entire stuff in word and pictorial view as well. So that's what caught my attention.
I think I said that when I was just responding to the question I was asked by Hillary. I said that you could do qualitative analysis where you are explaining in words and using pictures. I think I said that.
Okay, thank you, sir. I didn't get it.
Okay. If there's no question, then I will move to the next part of the work for tonight.
Question still
Yeah.
Dan.
Mm-hmm.
I read something told me that if you're doing a journal or blog for or article writing,
Mm-hmm.
is article writing the same as journal?
We have journal articles. So what you're going to do now, what you're going to write is another journal article, but it's a scientific publication. That's an article. So it is a small research.
Yes, sir.
Journal articles are usually uh, some small studies done, and then or somebody's idea, new idea they want to write about that others can see, that others can know, others can read about.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay. Any other person, please?
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
James Coley. Yeah,
Yeah, James.
yeah, I want to understand something. This paper we are about to write, comparing it with the TC, because I know that not every part of the document will be published. So, which part of this document will be published?
Well, we've given you the format that you're supposed to use, and I just show you again something you're supposed to use. So every part of the work is important, but you might not do the entire volume. In fact, we don't want you to do very huge work. We've restricted you to at most 15 pages, right? So it means you're going for the most important things to include in the article. And that's why I should be, you're not writing the article on your own. You should draft it, you send it to me, I must see it and make comments, and you continue to work on it. So I hope you are not thinking that you will do it all alone, and at the end of the day, you submit something that is not going to be publishable. Because if it is not publishable, that alone prevents your graduation if you are to graduate. So from the very beginning, when you do the paper, you start the first part of the proposal. It's good that I see it and make my input from that very beginning, so that as you move on, every time I'm seeing it and putting you on your guard, so that you don't do something that is not going to be published at the end of the day. Steven Edrich is trying to enter. I've tried to get him in. It's not working. I think his network is bad. All right. So if we are okay, then I'll move to the reference manager. Like we discussed the other day, as you are writing the paper, we've said that you have to do everything to avoid plagiarism. Plagiarism can be committed in different ways. One way could be that you have written something in your paper that did not come from you originally. It is not your original idea. And then you fail to tell us whose idea that particular idea is. That is plagiarism. Plagiarism could also mean that you are taking your friend's assignment and submitting it as your own. That's a form of plagiarism. And a lot of times we observe students will go to their friends and just copy the assignment and go and submit similar assignment that was submitted by other student. That's plagiarism. That's a crime. So in article writing, in scientific publications, your paper will be published out there, and there are millions of papers that have already been published. So if you are publishing your paper, you have to ensure that you are not publishing someone's paper. So you are not going on the internet and copying someone's work and then pasting it in your computer. You open your Word and paste it there. You finish, design it very well, put a nice cover page, and put your name and say you have done a paper. No, that is not possible. As a matter of fact, every work you're going to do, we are going to check it. I'm going to demonstrate that to you right now. How do we track plagiarism, for example? So Let's go on the internet. I just type maybe malaria control. Someone at the door. So let me get the person in. Okay. So malaria control. So I see information here on malaria prevention and control. I go here. The information looks good. So I just copy it. Just copy it. Someone is at the door again. Felicia car, I'm sure you might be having issue with your network or so. Felicia and 5 minutes. All right. So let's go back there. So I come here and just copy. Open my Word document, new document, and paste this one. I go look for some again. You know, I want to impress my prof that I know how to do research and I did very good research. So I go back again on the internet to look for more information on malaria control. This time I look at World Health Organization information. I see the one, I say, oh, thank God I got enough information. So I just copy, you know. Oh yes, my paper will be rich, you know. Oh yes, now at least I have about 2 pages almost. My work is getting, you know, enough. I'm getting a lot of pages. So I go back again, look for another person. This time I look at the Stanford Healthcare. You know, can see information. Oh wow, there's a lot of information here. Protection from mosquitoes. Oh, I was looking for this information somewhere. Medication. Oh wow, I just found it. So I copy. You know. So when I'm done with this, I designed it very well. Some of you are very good at computer. So maybe first I clear all the formatting, then I put it in the normal, and maybe I set it 12, and then maybe I justify it, and maybe I say Times New Roman, you know, trying to just make it look beautiful. Oh, I got enough work here now, so I save it, my assignment. I save this work, my assignment. The next thing I'm going to do is do cover page and then put it on the print it and submit to my prof. And the prof sees it because it is printed on hard copy, it's on a sheet of paper. The prof sees it and says, yeah, this student is a very serious student. He did well, he got some very good information. Okay, but you send me this work and it is in soft copy. So I'm going to check this work to see whether this is your work. How do I know? Wait, let's go back first. Let's close the website. The browsers, all the browsers that are closed. Let me close the other browser. You see, no browser is open now on this computer. While I have my plagiarism checker, I'm using Grammarly. We have Turnitin and many other plagiarism checkers. So for now, this one is just grammatical problem, you know, that the software is identifying. But that's not what I'm looking for. For now, as a teacher, I'm not interested. I want to know whether this work is your work. For now, I don't want to think about the grammar you wrote. That's not my business for now. So I'm going to check plagiarism. So I put my plagiarism on right here. I put it on and wait. Now the It is checking, the program is checking in all the millions of websites on the internet. The program is checking. Very soon you'll give me a report. So good. I have a report. If I look there, see here, it said this work is 100% plagiarized. Then someone will say, oh, but how is that possible? Okay. What is it going to do for me? I'm going to ask it to take me to the website where I took or where the student took the work from. So I come here, see, just by clicking here, it shows me the website here. So I click on the website. Do you remember us being here? So it brings me right back to this website. So if you submitted a journal paper for publication, it's going to pass through this process. No one is just going to take it and say, oh, John Brown has written a very nice paper and publish it. It might be somebody's work that you are publishing. So by the time you do all the nice designs, it's going to pass through this process. But now guess what? You're not going to disgrace me because you and I are writing this paper. So before they can disgrace us there, I will disgrace you first. Should I use that word? Yes. Let me use that word. So what does that mean? You must read, digest, get the information that is necessary, that supports your study. Write that information down in your own words, but they tell us where you got it from. Yeah, you wrote in your own words, but is it original? Is it from you? The idea is not from you. It's like you heard someone saying something and you paraphrase it. You must say the person said it. And so you have to tell us this came from this place. That is why we want you to use the referencing, the reference manager, let me say it that way, to help you do all the citations and do them properly. And then also, when you are writing paper, you don't just go and start copying and pasting. You read the papers. You look for the papers, you read them. Then when you find information that supports your idea, you can go for that information, digest it, write it in your own words. After writing it in your own words, find out, state whether that idea is supportive of your idea or that idea is against your idea, or make a recommendation and those kinds of things. And that's what makes your work to get beautiful. So it's not just about copying and pasting or taking somebody's idea and writing it down. When you write someone's idea, you must also give your feeling about that person's idea in relation to the topic you are discussing. So if someone said, for example, malaria prevention is possible only if we keep our environment clean. If you have another idea that is different from that person's idea, and you want to say, yes, John Brown has said that malaria prevention is possible only when we keep our environment clean. But I think another account, a study done by another person, has also found that there are other means through which we can prevent malaria. And you have to come back to tell us maybe another author proposes that mosquito nets should be used. Okay, so if someone said mosquito net should be used, it's possible that you could come out and say, okay, but mosquito net is not security. The use of mosquito net is not security. You see, you are trying to go away from the person's idea, but when someone comes to read that paper, the person gets what Don Brown said, and then the person also then understands your idea and your argument. Yes, mosquito nets will not be the only solution. What if in the community the person is sitting out at that time not using mosquito net? Will the mosquitoes not bite them? That would be an argument, right? So you say it is also possible that a person sitting out who has not yet gone to bed or gone to sleep and sitting out in his yard could be bitten by a mosquito, and then the person will still get malaria. So using mosquito net is not a guarantee way. You see, your idea is not a guarantee way of preventing malaria. Although, to some extent, it could contribute to prevention of malaria, it is not a guarantee way of doing it. So you will give your own idea about that particular one. Then you move again to another idea that connects to the previous one that may come from someone. You could agree with that person again or modify what the person has said, in different ways. But anytime you write an idea that comes from someone, when you're writing your paper, you must cite it. You must cite it. So if you saw in the paper we just presented, for example, let me see, is this mine? Okay. So you see a lot of citations, are there. You see, I cited papers. You see, I cited papers. I cited papers. You see, I cited papers. I cited papers. You see, okay. So you have to another paper cited here. So you have to be able to do that because the idea can never be 100% original from you. You must have read other people's work. So you see another citation here, So there's a lot of papers that were cited, another one here, and then that's how it goes. So what do we use for the citation is what we call the reference manager. There are several reference managers. The most common ones used at Cypress International University are the Mendeley and the Zotero. Tonight, I'm going to use the Zotero. Steven and Onike are really trying to get in. Finally, I think they are in. One unknown user. Let me allow the person. I know the person may be struggling today. All right. So I'm moving now to Zotero. I'm minimizing this page. I'm closing this work. I'm going to the website. No, thanks. Okay. So let's agree that we want to write a paper on mosquito prevention and control. Mosquito prevention and control. Not malaria, but mosquito prevention and control. So when I conceive the topic, the next thing I need to do is to concentrate very well, understand everything. Then I need to go out there to look for information. I have to find information that other people have provided. So the easiest way that we can find information these days is to go through the internet. So I'm going to type okay, I see some information coming, but I need to look for these different information and keep them that I can be able to use them. So the best thing I can do to get them kept is to open my Zotero. I have already downloaded and installed my Zotero. It's on my computer, so I open it. So these are all different folders of different papers, that I'm writing or I've written, and they are in my Zotero library. But as it is, I don't have any folder here on mosquito prevention and control. And I'm about to write a paper on that topic. So I want to open a folder on that topic. So I come to here. We see new collection, not new library, but new collection. I'm still using one library. I could create several libraries. I'm still using one library. And I come to new collection, click on new collection, and then I will have it coming this way. So the next thing I'm to do is to name it. So I want to name it mosquito research. So I have this folder now opened. So what am I going to do? I'm going to collect information from the internet and save it in this folder. I'm going to collect information from the internet and save them in this folder. So I go to the internet and I look for papers. I see what mosquito control programs do. If it is something that I think I will learn from, I open it. In the meantime, I find some information, control the larva. You see it? Kill the adult mosquitoes, monitor control programs. I see some information and I say, wow, it looks like this is good. So what am I going to do? I'm going to save this in my Zotero and in my mosquito research folder. So now I come to this place here where you follow the cursor in the upper right hand corner right here. I click on this and then this will show me all the extensions. Here I see Zotero connector. So since I'm using Zotero, I click on Zotero connector. So it is saving the work for me in the folder. Good, the work has been saved there. I can look for more works, right? Prevention and control of worldwide mosquito-borne illnesses. I'm not really interested in the illness. I'm interested in controlling the mosquito. So you see, I don't want to talk much about the mosquito-borne illnesses, unless where I was talking about prevention, control, and maybe effects of mosquitoes. Then I want to go there. Say I'm not having interest in that. I'm looking at mosquito control, the US EPA. I want to see whether I can get some information from the US EPA website. So I open it. So I come here. Basically, I see the life cycle, they talk about Zika virus and other things, preventing mosquitoes. So let me read this, open this paper and see whether it's something I'll be able to use. Okay, I find some information avoiding getting bitten by a mosquito. You know, do I want to use it? Okay, if I want to use this information, removing mosquito from their habitat, we are talking about the control and the prevention. I think this information is useful. I want to use it later on, so I want to keep it in my Zotero. So I come with the Zotero connector and also keep it there. I want to type research journals on mosquito prevention and control. I already got it. So there are the research journals on mosquito prevention and control. So the mosquito repellent product, does it prevent mosquito? Yes. So maybe I want to talk about the repellent in my work. So I check to see what they have first. They got to make sense to me before I can add them. 28 ways to prevent mosquito bites. Wow. So I got some information here. You know, I got information here. I'm not ready to start reading it, but I can just, skim through to see. For example, just two, I see one, get rid of standing water. You see, I'm getting methods that I can be able to use, discuss in my work. At the end of the day, I can even use them as guide to do my recommendation. Don't worry about your backyard pond. Wow, I gotta read it to see whether it makes sense to me. Survey the neighborhood. Stock up larvicide brackets. These are all the different methods. So, okay, I see some good things here. I'm interested. I will read this paper. So let me save it in my Zotero. Okay. So I can look for, let me see if I can find some PDFs. If I can find some PDFs. Manual of Environmental Management for Mosquito. I know it will tell me something about preventing and controlling mosquito. So let me see. I'll go read that manual to see what it says. Oh, it's from some WHO. So I save it. Now, open as PDF. Yeah, but I can save it still. I can look area here and save it. Good. So you see, I can look for many papers as I wish. When I finish, I can go see the papers I have in my Zotero. So let's say I'm done with looking for papers. So I come to my Zotero and I see the list of the papers. Right? So manual on environmental management for mosquito control. This is the publishing information about this book. It tells me that it's written by Kevin O. Clutter, the author, right here. Right here, I can find the author. Last name, first name with middle name. Last name right here, then the first name, middle name. So I move to the best ways to prevent mosquitoes bites according to experts. Who is this one written by? In fact, it has two authors, Mariah Carter and Blair Donovan. These are the two authors of this book. All right, so here they are. What year? 2020. This paper was published in 2020, March 25 at 4 o'clock. Okay. Tips to prevent mosquito bites, US EPA. Author, US EPA and OSPP. These are the authors. of this paper. They're right here. Okay, I can see the publication date 2013, July. And then mosquito control programs. What mosquito control programs do by CDC? CS CDC. Good. So I have these papers. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I want to start writing. I'll start writing my paper. So I open my blank page. Let me close this the whole thing I was doing here. And then open a new one. Good. So maybe I want to start with the introduction. I want to start my own idea. The population of mosquitoes continue to increase in Painesville. Let me make sure I'm using one column. To increase in Painesville city, Colorado County. There have been several calls made by inhabitants as well as visitors of the city or experts to aid the local communities with measures and methods of controlling and preventing mosquitoes propagation in the city. Forget about whether the English is too correct at this point. You're not worried about the grammar. You will do editing later. What you doing is, as the idea is coming to you, you are writing down your idea, and then from there, you can be able to say that. All right. So I want to look for any of the papers that might help me to. So I want to open this manual on environmental something. I'm going to open this paper. All right. So I want to go and see what they have. So they talk about environmental modification and manipulation for the control of mosquito vectors. Disease almost disappeared with development of chemical insecticides after the Second World War. They're giving all the background information as well before writing their paper, giving all the different background. Right? So environmental management measures does depend on the fullest understanding of mosquito ecology, population dynamics, as well as mosquito-borne disease epidemiology. Now, you see, if I see this idea and I think that it is something that I want to do, I'm looking at my introduction. What I have said here, I've said that there have been calls made by inhabitants as well as visitors of the city of Painesville for experts, you see, to aid the local communities with measures and methods of controlling and preventing mosquito propagation in the city. Now, right after saying that, I'm coming right here, and then I'm talking about environmental management measures, blah, 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 blah. So I want to see how I can find now studies on vectors. Habitat must therefore be intensified in order now. So this idea, I'm not going to copy it word for word, but I see that I'm talking about experts here, and I know that it is the experts that are going to do the study. So I can simply see here that the book was written by, look at the author of this book. We saw the author of the book somewhere, Clutter. So I see here, right here, where are we? Let me go back to my document. Studies, or a study done by, a study done by Clutter. Yes, you see it? That, now I'm going back to what it says, what he was trying to suggest here. Okay. What is his suggestion? Where are we? Okay. That studies must be done on vector habitats. That studies must be done on vector habitat. What is the reason he gave? The reason he gave, we made it just quickly. But this one that you should be able to jot down first, write it down very well before you start typing. But I'm just showing you something, that's all. So on vector habitats, to be able to attack, or the studies on vector habitats must therefore be intensified in order that the attack may be on sound basis. On vector habitats, so as to ensure that attacks on mosquitoes are done on a sound basis. This is not my original idea. This idea came from somewhere, even though I have written it in my own words, but it's not my original idea. So I got to tell you people where I took it from. Now I have to cite it. This is where I will come right in my work here. Easy Word. When I install the software and install the plugin, this is where it will come. This is Zotero. So I come here, then I come to add or edit citation. This is the first time opening it, so it's asking me which style of citation I want to use, whether APA. So for now, I can choose to use the APA. Depending on the publishing house that will publish my work, if they tell me to change it to another format, I can just come here and change it and it will be automatic. So I'm choosing. So now I come here, click on classic view, and look here for clutter. Here is clutter. So I just click on clutter. The paper I read is there. If I want to show the page, fine. If I don't want to show the page, I can leave it as it is. So I just click on clutter and then click OK. So you see here, the citation is in. Here's the citation. Now, if I wanted to do another, or maybe come up with a bibliography, maybe I finish writing now. I just come here and click on bibliography. So you see, the whole information comes down here. This is the APA format, and this is the in the reference list. This is what will come there for clutter. So any other thing you add in there, as you refresh the reference list, it will just drop down. This is how you do it. This is how you do the citation. So I can change this citation to any form. What if I want to change the form, right? So I come to preferences, I come to document preferences. I want to change it to the Chicago manual style of this one. There's a edition note. By the time I click on it and say change, see, I know you've seen this raised number in most papers that you've been reading. So this is how now it has turned. So instead of seeing it in the parentheses, it's now shown as a raised number because I'm using the Chicago manual style. So it comes like this. And then this is how it does the reference. So I can change the reference to any form depending on what the publisher that wants the paper will tell me. So also change it here.
Yeah, it is really.
Or who can be in the class and doing. So I can be able to change this. So I finish the whole work and then I want to publish it and I'm told, no, we don't want this style. Go and change it to another citation style. I will not come and sit there and start typing all over. The reference manager will just do it in seconds. And I have a new style that that particular publishing house or that particular journal is asking for. That is why it is important to use a reference manager. So I will stop there for questions. It's after time, and then when they will close.
Yes, Dan. Dan,
Yeah, Makati.
I follow through. I see it's like you have most of you did your own paragraph and Jack took maybe one or two sentences the from the net to try to work on or in the document. Is it possible that you use somebody entire paragraph and see how best you can develop your own based on what you have read from that paragraph?
Yes, there are times you can quote a particular paragraph and you got to put it in the quotation. There are styles. There are different styles you can use for the quotation. Everything is in a Word document there. So if you wanted to quote complete quotation or you quoting, but at the same time you paraphrase that quotation, there are different ways you can do it. You put it in quotation, then from there you come back now and give your own understanding about that paragraph. Yes, it's possible. But you have to quote it and then do this, the citing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was excellent, and I really appreciate this. But one thing I still want to understand is the issue of this soteria.
Mm.
Which part of this computer we can find this, and whether it's already installed or we have to download it before it works.
Zotero, right on the internet, by the time you type Zotero, that go there. Let me go show you. Let me see what I can share my screen quickly. Yeah, right on the internet. Uh, so by the time you click, you open your browser and you type Zotero, Zotero, and you press enter. It asks you to see what you want to download. So you click on download,
Okay.
and then you see it here. You click on it. When you download this and install, you also come here and install the Chrome connector. The Chrome connector right here, the one, this one.
Yeah.
This is the Chrome connector. So after downloading the one on the computer, then you can come on the Chrome connector and also install it. If you
Great.
want to log in now, you can register. You can click register so that you know why it's important for you to register. If you register in your computer has it, it will also be on the internet. It means all your documents in Zotero that are on the computer, you can access them. Even if you don't have your computer, you can access them on the internet. When you leave your computer here and go to America, you can still access all your documents that are stored in the Zotero.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why it's good to do the registration.
Do we take monetary value?
No, the Zotero is free. It's a free software. It's free. Yes, Phil Dennis. Fifth Dennis, let me allow you. Yeah, go ahead and talk now.
Yeah, that I just want to say thank you for the class, yeah, because the whole night my phone just going off. Yeah, to never.
She's out.
Yeah, that's what been happening. She's been coming, going, coming, going. Been watching her trying to come in. Fifth Dennis, Onike, Felicia Carr. Those are the people that struggle tonight. You have many people in here than this, but it was not just possible.
Are you aware that one of your students is bereaved?
No. Who? Oh yeah,
Victoria.
Victoria. Yeah, Victoria. Yes, I know that. Okay, so for all indications, time is far spent. Tomorrow we meet and we'll be discussing our epi info tomorrow. So it's also going to it also promises to be good. I hope to meet all of you there tomorrow. Have a very good night. Sweet dreams.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan.